Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our success question and day of the week. We have with us Hassan Butt. Hey, Hassan, welcome back.
Hey, Vasco, a pleasure.
So we'll talk about success in a second. Stay tuned. But first, Hassan, share with us, what's your favorite retrospective format and why?
So for me, I would say that I don't have a favorite retrospective format. Let me go into why. When I initially started out as a Scrum Master, conquering retrospectives was the hardest thing in the world for me. It was actually something that I didn't look forward to, almost, nervous, scared about going into it because I felt like I couldn't do a good job. When I went into retrospectives, I tried to, do all the fancy things, make themed retrospectives, whether it be, the Olympics, The Simpsons, my favorite of movies or movies of the team. And I always felt like the team didn't get much out of it. And I used to bang my head against the wall all the time when it came to retrospectives, and I just couldn't seem to figure out what it was. And then eventually I had a conversation with one of the engineering managers at that time, and he said, Hassan, why don't you try something simple? I know you like doing flashy retrospectives, but why don't you just try something really bog standard? What went well, what can be improved, and what didn't go well, so on and so forth. The basic of basic retrospectives, and I did that. And it was the first time that I saw my team speaking, and that feeling of almost teary-eyed because I felt like I'd just conquered the mountain. I'd managed to achieve something. It's just getting my team to speak, and they would normally just be very quiet. One of my colleagues talked to me about a silent retrospective, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I want my colleagues to speak. I want them to enjoy themselves. And what was my main takeaway from that is, you need to take the time to understand that different people work in different ways. Different cultures operate in different manners. My team was full of colleagues who were third party from different places in the world, different backgrounds and cultures, and not everyone likes fancy retrospectives. Some people like something simple, elegant, and crisp, and you give that to them and they thrive straight away. And I had to then adapt and learn, that I needed to change things and not think about what I wanted. It's not about what Hassan wants. It's not about what we as Scrum Masters want. It's about what the team needs. And by tapping into that and taking the time to understand your team members, you can then cater for them and facilitate in a manner which suits them. So I don't like the idea of a one-shoe-fits-all approach when it comes to retrospectives. I believe you kind of need to go with the mood. You need to go with the feeling. How does the team feel? Are they tired after just delivering, a new product? Our deadline's really close. Do they need a bit of a break, something a bit more fun? I can talk to you about something which I think is an awesome retrospective for those who have the capacity, or they want to do this, and that is escape room. Escape room retrospectives are some of the most fun retrospectives I've ever done. And for those Scrum Masters who really want to get into the psychology of it, if there's something that you want your team to think about, you can place them within the escape room. I did it because I needed my colleagues to improve commentary within Jira tickets. Just because when we had delivery folk coming in and asking questions, I didn't want to disrupt our colleagues, because we all know that if you interrupt a developer whilst they're in deep thinking, it takes over 30 minutes to 45 minutes for them to get back into deep thinking again. So to avoid this, we asked them to update their Jira tickets, and it was something that they needed to do. As a part of the escape room, I had said one of the codes to the next room is located in the place that you should fill out most regularly, and they found they found a code on Jira. They typed in a ticket number, and they found it in the comment section. And just to hear everyone say, "It's in the comment section! It's in the comment section!" and for everyone to dive into there was something that was extremely powerful. And we go back to why gamifying things is just honestly the best thing you can do.
Yeah, gamifying can really bring concepts to life in a way that theoretical descriptions cannot.
100%.
But of course, we do all of this because we want our teams to succeed, and we want to succeed ourselves as Scrum Masters, of course. So share with us, Hassan, what does success mean for you as a Scrum Master?
So Well, when I first started off my career, what I was taught is it's your job to make yourself redundant as a Scrum Master, where your team no longer need you. And I think for the most part, I completely agree. And when looking at these teams, I mean, I mentioned at the start that I had some teams that weren't as great at communicating, had these hierarchical issues. And now I look at some of the teams that I've worked with now where I see a room full of leaders. I don't see one individual leader. I see a room full of leaders, but I also see that they come together as a team. Everyone has each other's backs. Everyone wants to support one another. If there's a problem, people swarm around it to resolve it together. This togetherness, this feeling of a true team, is something I always aspire to, that level to get to when I work with teams. Now I've basically seen the utopia almost. I've seen what good looks like. So every team I want to work with, I want to get them to a state where they're doing that. And examples, real world examples. For example, the the developers I've worked with have all gone on to become leads. The QAs that I've all gone to work with have gone into separate teams to all become leads because of that leader mentality, because they're not dependent on other people to say, oh, I can't do this because it's me stepping outside of my box. It's me stepping out of my comfort zone. No, they open the box and they run out and they say, what can I get involved in? What can I do? What can I get involved in? And that's where I think the true value is, creating a team full of leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about your job, can you quickly give us an idea? What are the things you look for to see if people really are developing towards that, as you call it, room full of leaders?
I think it's important to have check-ins, but I go back to something that I'm really passionate about, and that is, how well do you understand your teams? How well do you understand the individuals within those teams? If I know, for example, that one colleague is a bit more introverted, but I know that this individual, one of my front-end developers, let's use as an example, my front-end developer is aspiring to become a lead. If I know this and I've had conversations with him and I know that that's his inspiration, that's his aspiration, and then something comes along, and ask from the business, we need someone to lead on this area, to have a conversation and share with our stakeholders. I can, because I know that person, because I've taken the time to understand what motivates them, what their passion is, I can almost go there with a gift and say, my friend, this is what I've got for you. There's an opportunity. Would you like to explore it? So it's taking the time to truly understand them, what motivates them, outside of work, inside of work. What are their passions? Do they like speaking? Do they not like speaking? If they have a motivation to become a lead, understand that, right? One of the biggest almost pressures I see for leads and developers is, not by default, I think that's unfair, is a lot of the developers I've worked with naturally tend to be introverted, maybe a bit more nervous, and it's understanding that I do public speaking. I tend to do better at anything to do with speaking. Therefore, how can I help them improve? And that's been something that I've focused on. Is sometimes people have great ideas, they just don't know how to articulate them to a big, large audience. And once you crack that, that's what makes them more employable. It's that feeling of they know how to work within a team, they know how to cultivate success with their team members. They're encouragers, they're coaches, they're mentors. They're not someone who stands at the top and says, I'm the best, that's all you need, and become a bottleneck for the team.
Absolutely. Very much inspiring thoughts and ideas on how to become that Scrum Master who helps team members learn how to be leaders. Thank you for sharing that, Hassan.
No, thank you, Vasco. And please take the time to listen and learn from your teams, understand them. It'll put you in good stead.
Part of a successful Scrum Master job is to help the product owner. Tomorrow we explore that critical role in Scrum, the product owner role. Tune in to learn about product owner anti-patterns, what you can do to help the product owner, and a real-life example of what a great product owner is and what made it so. Tomorrow on our Friday Product Owner episode. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.